Please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my latest video has come. And to learn more and to find a video relevant to you, please do check out my videos list.
Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. We talk about various results from a horoscope, and one of the key elements in the horoscope is about relationships. And I've spoken a lot about how relationships are very important, balance in relationships are very important, and the seventh house, which represents relationships, is in fact between the two dusthanas, the sixth house and the eighth house, and how the balance that you keep in relationships between how you serve yourself versus what your responsibilities for your relationships are also keeps the challenges and the issues in your life away and also brings more prosperity in your life. However, as part of the relationships, two key relations are very important both in our lives, from whichever religion that you may be practicing or believing in, or whatever your faith is, even from theology point of view, religious point of view, from a social point of view, as well as astrologically. The relationship that we have with the mother and the father is most important. And while we talk about shlokas, we talk about how various religious books talk about the relationship of parents being very important, let's also see astrologically what are the placements in the horoscope basis mother and father, and what do they denote, and why serving mother and father is very critical and crucial, not only for a good existence but also trying to get towards moksha or salvation. And the biggest step that we can take towards moksha or salvation is the service of or serving the parents, serving the mother and the father. So firstly, which is the house of the most biggest bounty in our horoscope? It is the fourth house. Fourth house represents mother. Fourth house also represents the heart, and the fourth house also represents all the tangible riches that we have. So whatever riches that money can buy, tangible benefits which we use, house, car, jewelry, all the daily conveniences that we have, or day-to-day conveniences that we have, air condition, or having good furniture, whatever the best things in life, or whatever riches that we have, everything is represented by the fourth house, as well as the fourth house represents the heart as well as the mother, which means that the biggest bounty that comes to you is to have a heart for, or the love for, the mother. And mother represents love as well. However, we should also reciprocate that love to the mother and serve the mother. And hence the sixth house, the house of service, is third from the fourth house, which means that while mother serves us and mother takes care of us, but it is also our duty to put in the effort in serving her. The sixth house is also the house of service and also the house of a karmic debt, and the karmic debt can be given off much better when we start with serving the mother. So effort put in serving the results of the fourth house, which is mother first, and then the domestic life, which is our family, is critical to giving off a karmic debt. It's very important. And if you see, how far is the fourth house from the sixth house? The fourth house is 11th from the sixth house, which means the more you serve the mother, the gains will also come to you. And so serving humanity is very important, but you should start with keeping in mind that service to mother is important. If you serve the entire humanity but you don't serve the mother, then you're missing a huge part of the service, that your responsibilities, which your karma is. And that's why from Islamic point of view, it is said that heaven lies beneath the feet of the mother. So if you want to attain heaven, which you get after salvation, then you serve the mother first. And it's critical that we understand that the fourth house, representing bounty, representing heart, representing our affection, and the continuous beating of the heart or life itself, is represented by mother, who gives us the life, who is our sustainer supreme after the Almighty, and the nourisher supreme, and also the biggest sacrifice that if somebody can give for us or give for the children, it is the mother does. Nobody else in history, if you see, it is replete with mothers more than anybody else sacrificing their children. And even today, mothers sacrifice for their children. If today you ask any woman who is a mother, she can sacrifice the most for, she will say that she can sacrifice the most for her children. And sometimes it is a no-brainer. It is not even a question that one may need to ask. However, the other house, which is the 9th house, which represents father, the house of fate and luck, and so bounties of materialistic results that we get, and the fate and luck, which means the doors of fate and luck opening for us, come from the 9th house. 9th house is the house of father, but is also represented by gurus or our learning, which means the biggest learning that comes to us, or the highest learning that comes to us, comes from our father. And father is the door to learning also, which means if you start looking at how father led his life, what his learning was, what his values were, what his principles are, and then you move in that direction, then it serves you. The higher learning also serves you. Now, parents are also human. They will also have their own challenges. So parents are also human, and they can also make mistakes. And so sometimes it's easy to judge parents and say this part of my mother is not good, or this part of my father is not good. But it is also important that we let alone their challenges, their issues, and we pick out the good things from them, from their lives. I was speaking to my dad, I think a few weeks back, and in a jovial manner I told him that there are some goods that I have picked from you, there are some bads also picked from you. So he told me that please pick only the goods from me, please ignore the bads. I have tried to be a good father, but I know I have my own challenges. So let go of the challenges, forget my challenges, ignore my challenges, forgive my challenges, pick out the good things, whatever good you have learned from me, please take them forward and use them in your life, try and utilize them for your betterment and betterment of others also, and that is my only wish for you. And so parents, if you see, they will only wish good things for children. There will always be challenges that we face with parents. However, the challenges also serve us. How do the challenges serve us? For example, which is the house of moksha? 4th house, the 8th house, and the 12th house. And the 8th house, which is the house of challenges and issues and tribulations, it is 5th from the 4th house, which means that the gains, which is the 5th house of gain, learning also, comes from how well you manage the relationship with the mother, how much you serve the grihastha ashram. If you serve the mother well, if you serve the grihastha ashram well, the family, and the first family is parents, then the challenges, the tribulation, the issues, the obstacles of the 8th house are kept away from you, and you only gain. What is the 8th house? 8th house is also other people's money, shared property. Sudden gains also come from the 8th house, and inheritance comes from the 8th house. What do we inherit from our parents? The values, the principles, and also money. So if you want to keep the challenges away from the 8th house, but want gains, sudden gains, unexpected gains, bountiful of gains, huge gains, unimagined gains, then serve the mother, serve the grihastha ashram well, keep your heart in the right place, love your mother, have affection for your mother, and the 8th house challenges are kept away. And what is the 8th house? The 8th house is 12th to the 9th house, which means the losses of the 9th house comes from the 8th house, which means that if you keep your father away, if you keep the learning away, then the losses of the 8th house come to you. The challenges or tribulations come to you because you have kept the learning of father away, you have kept the father away, you have kept distance from your father. So the more you become distant from your father, the more you keep away from the learning of the father, then the 8th house becomes stronger, the challenges, the issues, the obstacles become stronger and rise in your life. And what is the gains of the 9th house? And which is the 4th house from the 9th house? The 4th house from the 9th house is the 12th house. So the moksha that we get, that we all seek of the 12th house, comes as a bounty when you serve the father, when you learn from your father, manifest the learning, and of course gurus, and then the moksha of the 12th house comes to you also. And if you look at what is the ninth house to the ninth house? The ninth house is the house, the biggest house of gains. The ninth house to the ninth house is fifth house, the children. And hence, your children do very, very well if you help, if you serve the father very well. If you respect your father, if you serve the father, then the doors of faith and luck open for you, and the gains of children come for you. If you mistreat your father and mother, especially father, you don't seek his blessings, you keep distance from your father, you will rarely find that your children will do very, very well. God forbid, but this is the reality, and this is what astrology is telling us, the placements are telling us, that if you want the gains of your children, then serve the father. You serve the ninth house, the ninth to the ninth house, which is the fifth house of children, will be served. And what is the second house to the fourth house? The second house to the fourth house is the fifth house, children. And who do we love most? The fifth house is also the house of love and romance, what interests us, what we like, and it is the house of children also. But the fifth house ruler is sun. The natural ruler of the fifth house is the sun, having the Leo energies, which means that if you truly want the sun to shine on your children, the brightness in the life of the children, you want your children to respect you, love you, take care of you, and you want your children to be respectable, you want your children to do very well, you want your children to get to a certain place in life, then you learn to respect and serve the father also, serve the sun also. The more you brighten your sun in your life, then you brighten the sun in your children's life also. And so directly the fourth house and the ninth house are getting connected in various ways to gains and to shed away challenges and issues in the life and to move us towards moksha. So if you want to do very well in life, keep in mind that serving parents is very, very important. There is this parable of a very old man who is almost on his deathbed, and he goes to a wise man and he wants to talk to the wise man about what he did and how he was so dejected in his life. So the very old man on his deathbed goes to the wise man and he tells the wise man that I am almost on my deathbed, maybe I don't know how long I will live, but I have done nothing in my life, and I feel that I have not contributed anything, I have not achieved anything, and it's almost my time is over. I don't know what to do. I am so sad. So the old man asks, did you have any aspirations? Did you have any dreams? He says, yeah, I had big dreams, large dreams. So for society, for world, to do big things, to do certain things for humanity, but I couldn't do anything. The wise man asked, why couldn't you do anything? What did you do then all your life? He said, all my life I came from a small village, and my parents were not able to do much. They were sick. Somehow they brought me up. They were not able to earn much, and because they were not keeping well, they were economically not doing well. They couldn't take care of themselves. They were sick. They needed some help. So I had nothing. I had no option but to stay back in the village and try and help them in any manner. So all my life has gone in just serving the parents, taking care of my father and mother. And I tried to get married. I got married to somebody, but the woman also didn't stay with me for long, and after that I didn't want to marry again, and so my whole life went in just serving my parents. So the wise man says that if you have just served your parents, then you have done enough. You have done just the next thing, the goodness, the next good thing that you can do after serving the entire society, after serving the whole world, is to serve the parents. So you have not lost much, you have done enough, the wise man says. Then he asks, what did you learn? Did you learn anything? So the old man says that whatever I have learned, most of the things I have learned is from my father. The learning that I have got is from my father. I haven't learned much. So the old man says, do you practice what your father has told you? The old man says, yes, whatever I do, I learn what I've learned from my father. I try to practice it. I learn whatever values I've learned from him, whatever principles I've learned from him, whatever the way of life I've learned from him. That's what I try to do. So the wise man says that you have learned enough, and you're wise enough, and so don't be dejected. Even if you are in the last final phase of your life, you have served enough and you have learned enough. So if you have done nothing in life, if you have just served the parents and not spoil our relations with them, in spite of some challenges that come between our parents, between ourselves and between our relations with parents, if we have tried to keep the differences aside and we have tried to make up with our parents, sometimes we go through huge challenges. Sometimes it is because of the karmic debt we are paying off, because of we not being good to parents in our earlier lives, because of which the karma comes back to bite us, and we don't understand that, and we think that our parents are not good, they don't serve us, and there are challenges with parents. So sometimes it is important to serve off the karmic debt, to give off the karmic debt, but the best karmic debt that we can do is to serve our parents, because if you start with the parents, then you get more opportunity to get bounty in your life, high learning in your life, and get an opportunity to serve others better, because you are doing well. And if you want truly your children to do very well, for them to shine, to respect you, to love and care for you, and for them to do well in life, respect your father, take care of your father. And if you want to move towards salvation and you want to have the biggest head or the biggest chance of getting your salvation and moksha, serve the mother, because heaven lies beneath the feet of the mother. So friends, look back at your relationships with your parents. If you have your mother and father still in your life and you have access to them, reach out to them, seek their blessings, do good for them, listen to them, and in whatever manner serve them, spend time with them, seek their blessings, and try and see if you can keep them happy. We don't know how many years we still have with them, or they have with us, and when they go from this life, or when we go from our life, we should be going with the contentment that we did best for our parents, our relationship was best for our parents, and the biggest bounty that we can have more than anything else, the blessing of parents. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me with the link given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.